after finishing my higher school, I came to the city here in Kathmandu. So I joined to the this Ching art school where I can learn the traditional Tibetan art. That where there is only, I think, in this Kathmandu, where it's only the one school where we can learn the art in the Kamagadi tradition. It is a tanka practice. Style come from Kamakagyu lineage, so it's also known it's known for like a soft space and very soft color, open space and very soft colors, and also the natural landscapes. So the Kamagadi painter is Namke Tashi in the 16th century, and he worked under the 9th Karmapa Wangchu Doje in the 16th century. So yeah, I follow this Kamagadi tradition. So yeah, I'm very happy that I got a chance to paint this 100 deities, like 42 peaceful and 58 wrathful deities. Also, we can paint in the same one single tanga, like one single canvas. But I thought it will be too much concentrate, like putting everything inside, like 100. So better to be clear for the practitioner. I think it is good that I put in a two tanka, like a two tanka. So it will be more easier to visualize, and a practitioner can see very clearly to it. So yeah, becoming like an artist as a woman in our community has not been easy. In our culture, women are expected to marry and look after the husband family, and like my family also expected like I should follow the same tradition, like traditional path. But like going to university, going to find a government job, going to abroad for securing a suitable future. But I totally went against to them. Like I didn't listen to them, I didn't follow them. So till today, that's why I'm still painting, and I wish I can continue for the rest of my life. So yeah, okay, I want to explain a little bit about this. This is a canvas, like we prepare this in a traditional way. So the preparing the canvas, we need to first stitch the cotton clothes tightly in a wooden frame. Then we apply the several layers of a mixture of a chalk powder and animal glue. So after that, we need to dry it, and we need to make a smooth with the stone until it became like a fine paper. So this is the first process of painting. Yeah, so this is the main deity of this peaceful one, the 42 peaceful. This is the main deity. It's a Samantabhadra and Samantabhadri. So the main deity, it's measurement and the drawing, like sketches, everything should be like we should follow all the traditional way. Okay, so here in this peaceful deity, 42 peaceful deity, here are all Buddha, Bodhisattvas, the female like consorts, and all are here. So can you do the next, please? So these are all the peaceful deities, like 42 peaceful deities. I put in all the like in a different directions, like a 4 directions deities, and also you can see there are some there are some also wrathful deities are also there. So after completing the drawing, after completing all the drawings, first I did all the back steps colors, like sky, ground, stones, trees, all the back steps colors first, because need to be clear front one later, like it's more easier for me. Yes, this is the settings of the like clouds. Yes, after finishing all the backgrounds, I came like front colors. Yeah, this is all, yeah, continuing coloring. Yeah, this is Natalie came to visit me. Uh, that time I was about to complete the peaceful, and I have already started the wrathful deities. And comparison with the uh, peaceful, wrathful is a little bit complicated. And also I want to complete it within like 8 or 7 or 8 months, but it doesn't happen because it is quite complicated. And this is my first time ever I am painting these deities. And yeah, Wrathful is more difficult, but still I'm doing, like I have already started a color. So hopefully in October, maybe 1st of October or maybe end of October, I want to complete and send it to there. Yeah, this is all the complete one. The peaceful, all the bodhisattva was female dakinis, figures offering like goddesses, and yeah, this is a detail working, opening the eyes and setting in the face is more complicated work here. And the gold pattern, and also we use the real gold, like a 24 karat gold, which was like a powder, and we put with the glue, and like, yeah, we use like this. Yes. Okay, also you can see there are also some wrathful deities also seen in the peaceful tanka. Why? Because they are the word of like, obstacles and negative forces. They protect the sacred space and meditation practice. Okay, this is now central figure of wrathful. This is all the Herukas. Yeah, all the uh Heruka, and uh there's 5 Wrathful Herukas with the uh with its concert, and also the form. It is a form of Buddha wrathful female consorts, and Daka and Takinis, and animal-headed guardians like Hayagriva, horse head, like Mahankala with animals attributes, and various like guardians, spirits with the bird, snake, lion head, and many more are there. Yeah, start coloring all the background first, then only the main deity. Yes. Next. Yeah, this is just the processing of the coloring and settings, backgrounds, and fire, because it's a wrathful. Yeah, this is from the peaceful one. It's already completed. Oh, nice. Yeah, this is all process of the painting, like shadings, coloring of the hair, settings of the hair. Yeah, this is the blissful one. It's completed. So the 100 blissful and wrathful, like sitro, we in Tibetan we call the sitro. So it came from the treasure teachings of Guru Rinpoche in 8th century. So in 14th century, the Terton Karma Lingpa revealed them as a part of a Vardo turtle. So it's divided into the two part, like 42 peaceful and 58 wrathful. So like it says like these are all the are expressions of our own mind, the enlightened nature appearing during the stages after the death. But the teachings say we meet these deities in Vardo after death, but through the Tanka painting, meditation, and the practice, we can recognize them now in this life. If we become familiar with them now, we will not be afraid or confused later, like in any, like, you know, and the deity saw us how to transform our emotions, like wrathful deities teach us how to face anger and fear with courage, and the peaceful deities remind us the compassion and the calm. So if we understand them as part of our mind, they can help us live differently, more awake and more free. We believe this. So yeah, sharing everything with you all. I'm so sorry. Like I don't know, my English is not clear, not that clear. Hope you all understand this. And after the competitions of Tanka, all the Tanka, may Rinpoche teach in detail about the 100 deities, their deeper meaning and guidance. I truly wish that you all may receive the precious opportunity one day after the completions, that after sending this Tanka to the center. So I think he will guide you and like explain you in a very clear way. Like I'm also not that much haven't like you know, experience about explaining these all things. Hope you all understand. So yeah, I think at the end, I want to express my deepest gratitude to Rinpoche for envisioning Tanka and guiding this project to me. My friend, thank you, like my friend Natalie, for bringing this opportunity to me. Yeah, and trusting me, like allowing me to share my journey uh, here today. So yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
I think it's amazing what you've done, but
Oh,
absolutely
thank you.
this morning, I've got a lot of people gathered here and a lot of
Okay.
people too. And so I'm going to explain in our low language, okay,
Okay.
everything about the peaceful for deities and what practices are actually available for them to really understand, but to
Yeah.
and see the intricacy of what you've done. All of us are so grateful and so beautiful. And when people really want to understand this, I'm going to tell them to go upstairs and see the tanker, stand before
Yes.
and begin to realize that it's all inside, not outside. So
Yes. Yes. Yes.
if you'd like to stay right now, we'd love to have you, but otherwise, thank you so, so much for coming and giving this to us. We really appreciate it so, so much.
Okay, sure. Sure.
Everybody,
Sure.
now your cameras if you like to, because I like to see your faces as well. There are a lot of people here and in the shrine room. And what I'd like to say to all of you is that I've called this whole thing an exciting introduction to the mandala of the 100 peaceful and wrathful deities within our hearts. So everything you've just seen is actually within our hearts. And for me, it's very auspicious to be teaching, sitting in this very auspicious temple of my Lama, teaching a very deep, mysterious, auspicious subject. And that subject is so much deeper than just waiting until the bardos when you actually encounter this. What the teachers are giving us now, which is absolutely amazing, is a chance to really understand this and change our lives absolutely drastically. So today, I've only got time for a very brief introduction to this very intricate subject, and then you need to expand and let it grow within you. Okay, that's very important. And as we begin to even contemplate the true inner meaning of this, our hearts really skip a beat as the temporary, transient dramas of our tiny lives just fade into insignificance. And we begin to open up to the truth of who we really are and exactly what we are doing here. And we are developing those 100 deities within our hearts. If I look back on my own life, this subject was introduced to me right at the beginning when I came on a Buddhist path. I had this very strange experience. It was all obviously just meant to be, but I had just taken refuge with Akon Rinpoche, I think in Kensington probably, and then I happened to go to the UK and decided that I would go to Sammy Ling. And when I went to Sammy Ling, I just decided to go for a visit. I didn't know that Akon Rinpoche was giving one of his very, very, very long courses, something he did, like they told me, every 30 years or something, and I happened to stumble in on that course. There was no room in the monastery for me to stay. So they put me into the Pure Lands. What did I understand about Pure Lands at that stage? But what an amazing experience, because coming down to the temple, number one, I met Lama Yeshe Rinpoche. He was going up and I was going down. And that was my first encounter with him right when I came onto a Buddhist path. And then I went into this talk that Akon Rinpoche was giving. And what he did in this talk was, Tupten, who was very upright, he's really relaxed so beautifully now, was going to cover a paragraph of this wonderful prayer by Patro Rinpoche called The Heart Treasure of Enlightenment. And what he did was he said the first paragraph and then covered it over with a cloth. And then we had to write it down. So what I did was I put my hand up and said, Rinpoche, do we have to put our names on? Because I didn't understand a word. And I thought, I can't do this right at the beginning of my thing. Anyway, he said, you don't have to put your names on. I didn't know what to write. And that was my first introduction. So what I did was get hold of this prayer. And then I started saying it every morning and contemplating it. So I don't have time today to go through it. I'm just going to give you the first paragraph. And those of you who want it, either you can text me and ask me to ask Bern to send it to you, or Fiona to send it to you. Fiona's at the back. Or you can come and photocopy it. You can photocopy with your phones. But the first paragraph went like this. Don't pursue the field of anger and hostility. Don't pursue it. Instead, look at the inflamed mind when you're full of anger. Within the sphere of voidness clarity, self-manifesting anger is self-liberated. And it went, voidness clarity is none other than mirror-like primordial wisdom. From within the sphere of self-liberated anger and hostility, recite the 6 syllables, Om Mani Padme Hum. And then it goes on. So each of our poisons, our pride, our greed, our envy, our jealousy, our delusions, each of them, those are the negative emotions. And if you look deeply, they suddenly become wisdoms. And if you look even deeper at those negative emotions, they dissolve right back. And so I didn't understand this when Rinpoche taught it, but obviously it was meant for me. But I took this prayer and said it every day until I began to see, oh my goodness, everything that we think and do. Sylv, do you want to open those blinds a little bit maybe? Everything that we think and do in our lives is just this temporary, transient part of us. In actual fact, what we have to do is see who we really are. And I kept teaching. The Lamas appointed me to teach. I kept teaching and holding retreats. I remember, Andres, you came to one of my retreats on the 5 wisdom Buddhas, because the 5 wisdom Buddhas, which are our true nature, then multiply into the 100 peaceful and wrathful deities, which I'm going to show you in a few moments. So I kept teaching it because it revealed something completely and totally different to me, that who are we in actual fact? That's much better, the sun. Who are we in actual fact? How do we find this out? How do we go to really discovering who we are? And so then I did a crazy 6-month trip to India, and through very, very, what I would call amazing circumstances, all the Westerners were removed from Sherabling, sorry, and we were all removed, and I happened, because of the permits, and I happened to get another permit and then come back. And then later in that 6 months, Taisito Rinpoche, I was so blessed with this wonderful Lama. He spent many hours with me because all the people were gone from the monastery. And he taught and deepened this amazing, amazing practice, which was really developing in me. And I hope this morning I could actually make it deepen in you too. And then at the same time, I discovered Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche's most inspiring direct teaching. If some of you have never read his teachings, Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche, I really advise you, if the subject really stimulates you, I really advise you to actually get some of his books because they're amazing. And his direct speaking, one of Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche's unique heart practices was called Kunzang Tuktik. And what it was it belongs to the Dzogchen Great Perfection teaching, and it is the practice of the 100 peaceful and wrathful deities. Some of you are looking deeply at me. It's okay, I don't mind, because it's time this morning. If I don't turn you inside out, then you're never going to pursue the subject. You're just going to go on with your ordinary lives. So I want to turn you inside out. He had this beautiful practice called Kunzang Tuktik of the 100 peaceful and wrathful deities. And he generously writes about it with Padmasambhava and other great deities like Chokalingpa in his book, Dzogchen Deity Practice, which is meeting your true nature. And those of you that are really interested, I would really advise you to get that book. You can't practice it unless you have a Lama's real empowerment, but you can read about it and start stirring yourself and start really understanding a lot. And what that practice, Kunzang Tuktik, is actually comes out of a much bigger practice called Harling Shitro, which DIPA was talking about. The Shitro is the peaceful and wrathful deity. And that practice the Tibetan Book of the Dead, the Tibetan book, the Bardo teachings come out of that particular teaching. So Kunzang Tuktik is just a short teaching of the same thing, but it is very exciting. When you read it, you begin to say, oh, this is who I am. This is what I've got to discover in this life. These kids would understand that much better than we are, because you're much nearer from your birth than we are. Okay, so you would understand that. And then, so that is another teaching which is really, really worth looking at. And then, of course, the Bardo of Dharmata teachings of the Tibetan Buddhists, which are the detailed teachings in the second Bardo after death. So the Bardo is an interval, and this is the second Bardo, the Bardo of Dharmata, which are the detailed teachings of our encounter after death. So if we don't get free in the first Bardo, we go to the second Bardo, and then a beautiful light goes out from us, and then all the peaceful and wrathful deities come in front of our eyes. And it tells you in this, please recognize, know. If you break up, recognize, know who you are, and then you are free. If you can just, when you get after death, but we're not waiting till after death, but when you get to after death and you come to the second Bardo, and there all the peaceful and wrathful deities are right in your vision, you have to say, yes, on the 17th of August, 2025, I met this mad girl, Melanie, and she introduced us to the subject from the beautiful artist DIPA, who drew all of these peaceful and wrathful. You do not know how and how important it actually is. And my question for you this morning is, why wait for the afterlife if we can start this discovery right now, today? And if we do discover right now, we will certainly be ready to recognize in the Bardos. So Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche said, and this is one of the key points of my morning, Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche said, your body, our bodies right now are a Buddha mandala. So this body is a Buddha mandala. He was questioned extensively when he said this. Why? What do you mean? And he said, your aggregates, your form, your feelings, your perceptions, how you see things, your habits, your human consciousness, all of those, your elements, earth, fire, water, air, and wind, your elements that your body is made of, and your sense bases are your consciousness that sees, your consciousness that hears, etc., are all within us, and they are already a mandala. Now ponder that. Everything that you are made up of is already a Buddha mandala. We are just too blind to see it. So the day we decide to open our eyes, we begin to see it. So how is it? How does it work in our bodies? I'm going to give this to you as briefly as possible, because I'm sure otherwise it'll be too long. But it's a very in-depth subject. If you look at yourself, you all have ordinary body. Ordinary body ages, dies, gets wrinkled, gets decrepit, gets everything, our ordinary body. Ordinary speech goes blah, 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 blah. A million thoughts that you speak. If you listen to people having coffee, they're going blah, 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 blah. That's your ordinary speech with all your thoughts in it, okay? An ordinary mind. What is ordinary mind? Ordinary mind is when you are thinking things all the time. I think I'm going to open the curtains now. I think I'm going to go and give a lecture. I think I'm going to give a hug to my children. On and on and on and on and on and on, all the human thought. That's your ordinary body, speech, and mind. What are they? Have you thought about how your ordinary body, speech, and mind is completely different? What are they? They are three kayas. First, your essence. Your essence is called Dharmakaya. It's your pure, beautiful nature, spacious, open. It's called primordial purity. That we've all got. If you are aware of that, it starts working through you. Like I'm sure sometimes you say to your mom, you know, it's funny, but I don't know why I did that today, but I really helped that other little girl when I did it. Because it's not when you're thinking, it's when you're allowing that beautiful essence to flow through you. That essence, if you look at the peaceful and wrathful deities, that essence we call Samantabhadra in the peaceful deities, the primordial Buddha, the primordial consciousness, okay? And that is represented by Samantabhadra. And when you go and see the tanka, you're going to see Samantabhadra and Samantabhadri, the consort, right in the middle of the whole tanka, okay? Then we go to the second part, which is the pure expression from the essence. What we're seeing is not pure expression, it's impure expression. But if we saw how the expression was, okay, we would see that it is of the nature of absolute luminosity, awareness, clarity, rainbow vivid colors. It's called spontaneous presence. It comes out of the essence. The essence is primordial purity, and spontaneous presence comes out. And if you look at that, that is called the Sambhogakaya. And that is where the 5 wisdom Buddhas are. And the 5 wisdom Buddhas all go out to 100 Buddhas, which are the 100 deities. So that's all happening on a pure level. You're going to ask me, well, what about the wrathful deities? Why did she paint the wrathful deity? But when you think about that, that is the most exquisite, pure expression from the essence. It's how it's supposed to be. We don't let it be like that because with our absolute coarseness and the ordinary body, speech, and mind, we can't see it. So we see this body instead, okay? And then thirdly, the fruition is the unlimited energy and manifestation called the Nirmanakaya that come with full of compassion that comes out of from the Dharmakaya and the Sambhogakaya into a level where we can all understand that Nirmanakaya. So in the second Sambhogakaya level are represented by the 5 wisdom Buddhas, and the energy and manifestation is represented by the 6 Buddhas of the 6 realms. Our realm, the human realm, has got Buddha Shakyamuni as the Muni that is there. And when you see them in the peaceful and wrathful deity, they are standing on a lotus flower. They're standing up, ready to absolutely teach us and blix us if we don't listen, you know, because they are ready. And when you see them in the peaceful and wrathful deities, I want you to understand that that is your Nirmanakaya of all the realms of human. I have to do this quite quickly, sorry. Otherwise, I would do this over a couple of sessions. I'll give it to you. And then basically, you know, it'll be on YouTube, so you can go and listen again, and it's being recorded. Now, this is very important for us to understand. The Dharmakaya, the Sambhogakaya, and the Nirmanakaya is so important. Why? Because everything comes out of these 3, and everything goes back into these 3. And when we die, it is so fascinating to see that first, when everything here dissolves, and we are now made of pure, okay, we see the Dharmakaya. So we see the essence, the clear light. Now, a lot of people, when they have near-death experience, they say, I saw the clear light. But for most people, it's too scary even to contemplate because the light is absolutely brilliant and people get scared and they don't recognize that it's part of them. So then you go to the next level, the Sambhogakaya level. And when you die in the Bardo of Dharmata, that's where the expression of the essence is shown to you completely in the peaceful and wrathful deities in front of our eyes. Absolutely amazing. If you just recognize one, you're free at Sambhogakaya level. Remember that when any of you die. Okay, remember that. You don't want to say, because when you get there, the colors, the sounds, the light is so overwhelming that people go, oh, I can't look because they're not aware. But if you are aware, you go, this is who I really am. And you don't duck and you don't faint. You stay. And then you start identifying with these visions because they come out of your heart and you can identify with them. And then if you don't get that and you're too scared because of the sounds, lights, and rays, then you go into the third bardo. And in the third bardo, which is called the bardo of becoming, that is where your karmic imprints come up again. So everything you haven't resolved is there. You can still free yourselves. If you do Chen Rezi and you sing for Deva Chen and all that kind of thing, you can still free yourselves. But that third bardo is where we get catapulted again into samsara.
We go up to the patio to see
And we really just crowd them. And then you really, 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 when you go to that bardo, it's kind of too late to recognize. So what I want to say is, when we look at a mandala, I don't know if you've got a crystal here. When you look at a mandala, if you take a crystal on your hand and you actually take it into the sun, the internal colors of that crystal will reflect outwards. As we turn the crystal around, we'll see the 5 colors, which are absolutely exquisite because the mandala is like a crystal, and we reflect these 5 ways of knowing enlightenment. Here, they are the 5 ways of knowing reality. And if we know them and we understand them, and that's what I've developed to try and understand them, they complement each other and they make a full whole. And if they're not recognized, if you can't recognize that in your life, then the poisons, anger, delusion, and all the others, envy, craving, all of them are there instead of recognizing our 5 of the mandalas. So what happens is, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but just to give you an idea, the 5 primordial wisdoms, if you look at them like that, for instance, the wisdom of the Dharma Dhatu, or the all-accomplishing wisdom, if you look at the poison, it's ignorance and all the delusory stories we tell ourselves with that ordinary mind day in and day out. But if you look deeply, you will see the all-accomplishing wisdom, and so on. The mirror-like wisdom, when you have got anger and you're furious with people and you want revenge and you're going for court cases and you're doing all kinds of things, look deeply. The self-created anger, we created it somewhere before. And if you look deeply, it becomes mirror-like wisdom, a mirror to reflect our own angry imprints, and we can be free. We let the anger come up. We don't repress it. We don't push it aside. We let it come up and we let it dissolve back into its own state. And it goes on like that. Equalizing wisdom, which is the wisdom in which pride, if we've got pride, we think, I'm better than you. Equalizing wisdom says, oh no, you're all Buddhas. You just happen to be doing a different thing at the moment on this earth plane. You're all equal. That's the equalizing wisdom, the discriminating wisdom. If you understand that, you discriminate between what is real and what is unreal. And the poison is craving, passions, desire, attachment. I can't go into these, it's a long one, but lastly, envy and jealousy. I remember having somebody who really had a problem with envy and jealousy. And I said to her, I want you to put the jealousy out. It's green. You know, it's always drawn in storybooks as green, okay? Green with envy and jealousy. Look at it. Because our jealousy is because we think we don't want that person to be doing whatever they're doing. But actually, it is the wisdom of perfected action. Everybody's in the place they need to be. So we change the envy and jealousy into the wisdom of perfected action, which works through you. So that's very, very important for you to understand. I'm going to do it. Just let me see the time. I've got a bit of time. Okay. So when you look at these deities, the practice of Kunzang Tuktik has an exclusive focus, recognizing your mind essence. That's its entire intent. It involves the 100 peaceful and wrathful deities and is a precious support, okay? And the peaceful and wrathful deities, Tulku Urchin said, they are all the deities, all the ones you happen to do in your practices, all the 3 jewels, the 3 roots, everything is incorporated in these 100 deities. But they're not deities. They're qualities of you. They are the qualities that you have. They're just represented by a picture of a deity. And it's really important that you understand in the end, those are not over there. They just represent the qualities that you have inside of you, okay? So when we look at our mandala, we have enlightened body, enlightened speech, enlightened mind, enlightened qualities, and enlightened activities. That's another whole lecture on its own, okay? I can't give it to you. But we have all of those within us. So the qualities are, when we wake up to the deities, the day we say, I am Chenrezi, the compassion starts to flow through it. The day we say, like I wake up every morning and I go, I am Tara, which means, because I'm going to get that perfected action through me, through the Tara in me. She's the female who's swift, fierce, compassionate, and all of that. So when I ever do her, I'm becoming her. That is what the practice is about, when you really, really understand everything. Okay. So in the Nyingma tradition, very briefly, we have 3 outer tantras and 3 inner tantras in the Vajrasattva practice, when you do this deity practice. Okay. The outer ones, I'm not going to go into them again. That's another subject. For instance, the Kriya Yoga, what happens is the deities, the king, the Lord, the master, and you are the little servant, okay? It's all dualistic. So when you're doing that practice in the Kriya Yoga, the deities are there and you are here. Then as you go up a little bit, the deities become your older brothers, but it's still dualistic, okay? When you get to the inner tantras in the Nyingma tradition, it's an entirely different perspective. From the onset, everything is all accomplishing purity. The body itself is the mandala of the victorious one. So what happens is, you've got Samantabhadra and Samantabhadri, the primordial Buddha in the middle. They're like the sun. And then out of them comes the sun's rays, which are all the other deities, the 5 wisdoms, everything, no problem, everything that we've got, okay? And the 5 aggregates, when they're purified, your form, your feelings, your perceptions, your habits, and all of that, when they are purified, they become the 5 male Buddhas. So when you see the 5 male Buddhas, those are your purified aggregates. When you see the 5 elements as we use them are coarse, they really are very, very coarse. They are full. But when you see the 5 elements in their pure state, they become the 5 female Buddhas. Now think about that. Because do you want to be that? Do you want to change everything in your life from all the coarse elements and the coarse everything? The sense bases, in other words, your eye consciousness, your ear consciousness, your smell consciousness, your touch, etc., they become, they and their what you see, what you hear, what you do, become the male and female bodhisattvas in the 100 deities. Now think about that. So when you are starting to see purely, you're going to see at the level of those pure bodhisattvas. A bodhisattva is someone who devotes themselves to everything in the teaching. So each of those gatherings of the consciousness become the male bodhisattvas, the female become all the things you see and you witness become the female Buddha, female bodhisattvas. And then they're four male and female gatekeepers. And what are the gatekeepers? They are views when we are in extreme permanence or extreme nihilism and not believing in anything. You know, people who go, I don't believe in anything. There's nothing. Everything in this world is exactly like this. Okay. They're the nihilists. And then the ones in between, those are called the gatekeepers to stop you from falling and to give you all the activities. Okay. And they are the gatekeepers. I'm just going through all of them. And then finally, in the peaceful Buddhas, you've got the 6 munis. They are, like I told you, they stand on a lotus and they guard each of the realms of samsara. There are 3 here and there are 3 there. They're all standing because Buddha Shakyamuni is standing ready to teach us, ready to give us everything that we need. Okay, so that is the peaceful deities, okay, which are 42 in number. Because and then they've got entourages, all of them, which you'll see when you come into the bardos if you don't get it before, but I want to see them before, okay? And what I want to say to you is, what we really need to bear in mind here is, for so many beings, when they come to, their true nature of mind is right in front of them, projected from their Vajra hearts, they can't recognize it. And what their experience is because it's foreign to them. Don't make it foreign to you. All of you, don't make it foreign. Open yourself up to who you really are, okay? And it's really, really important because when we get into the Bardo, the sounds are the enlightened speech. They're loud. They tell you they're like 1,000 thunderbolts. The sounds are the enlightened speech. The beautiful, vivid colors are the enlightened body. The beautiful rays are the mind, the enlightened mind. So people feel frightened and they duck, they faint, and then they wake up a lot later and then they've got to face all their karmic imprints afterwards. Okay, don't wait till death. Start pondering all this, even if you don't do any practice. There are many, many, many texts you can read to awaken to all of this. It's really important and very important that we do it now. So I'm describing the whole mandala, okay? But remember, or I am describing this within us. And even though it might sound like it's something outside of us, they're not external. It's all inside. Every single part of our beings gets transmuted into a pure part. And that's what the symbol of the 100 deities is. Very important. So I think it's better if I don't give you all the names of all the deities, because I think this morning you're going to, but just to quickly show you, Samantabhadra and Samantabhadri in the center. Behind them, the 2-storied palace. Now, I often see that palace. It's got 2 stories. And Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche says, First, in the bardo, the peaceful ones present themselves to you. Then they go up to the second story and the wrathful deities present themselves to you. It's very interesting. And then the aggregates start becoming purified. So for instance, just to give an example, the form aggregate, your body, transmutes into Varashano, the male Buddha. So when you see him there, it's the body purified. When you see the feelings purified, it's Ratnasambhava, the beautiful deity called Ratnasambhava in the yellow color. And, you know, when I think of Ratnasambhava, you know, I always think of feelings, because we've always got feelings. So you think about really looking at Ratnasambhava. So you look at all the deities, and we also look at the 5 female Buddhas and their elements, okay? So when the elements are pure, when earth is pure, the earth element, it's Buddha Lochana. When the water element is pure, it's Mamaki, the water in your body, when it becomes pure at death. And if you want to purify it, you can. And when you play with these things, I make all the people who come to my talks play with these families, because you can hear that Mamakis of the water. And when you understand, when you start relating to them, the fire is Pandarasini, who's the partner of Amitabha. You've got Amitabha and Pandarasini. Amitabha is about the perception, how you see things. Pandarasini is the fire element. They are strong. They are the lotus family. They are red in color. You begin to relate to them. You'll see that one of the families you really relate to. So when they are purified, they're no longer that coarse expression. Okay. So the 42 peaceful deities are like that. And then the wrathful deities. Now, I don't know if you looked at the picture of the wrathful deities. I'm just going to say a few lines and then I'm going to throw it open for question or a meditation, whichever you want. But the wrathful deities, what are they? If you open a text or you look at a tanker painting, you haven't got any here yet, of the wrathful deity, they've got 5 faces sometimes, and they've got claws, and sometimes they've got octopus things that wind around you. And if you saw them in the night, you'd probably go, ooh. What you learn to do is these deities come with compassion, because what they come is to tame beings when beings are not listening and not seeing. The wrathful deities, who are really the peaceful deities, but just in wrathful form, they come to clap you and get you on your way, you know, to really give you a clap and get you on your way. And they also come because we've got so many negative emotions in us. And she loves such beautiful girl. We've got so many negative emotions in us that they come to remind us all the time, and each of them change. So I'm not going to go into that, but Samantabhadra and Samantabhadri, the primordial Buddha, become Temchok Heruka and Temchok consort of Heruka, okay? And they're very fierce, and they're black usually. And underneath them, they've got skulls, because they're showing you they've overcome all the human limitations, you know. They are very, very, very awful to look at, only to wake you up. They really are absolutely beautiful. But if you see them like that, you've got the male bodhisattvas become the 8 mamos of the sacred places, the Krodishvaris, the munis that become each of them the, you know, Heruka consort, and they give you a very big, you know, clap. And each of the 6 all of them become annihilators, bringing to an end, or you get the gatekeepers who come together and they do all the enlightened activities to stop you from falling into the traps of what we all fall into. So altogether, there are 58 wrathful deities and 42 peaceful deities. Together, 100. But are there just 100? No, they each have entourages, okay? So when you see them, it's really amazing, but sometimes quite overwhelming, okay, to see them. Don't be overwhelmed. They are purity. They are the expression of these beautiful, beautiful deities. So all I want to do with you, and then I'm going to give you time for questions. Okay. It's so interesting to just tell you all that in the practice, Padmasambhava, Guru Rinpoche reveals, imagine the assembly of peaceful deities in your heart. Imagine the assembly of wrathful deities in the bone mansion. This is the bone mansion, okay, in your head. Imagine, he says, imagine the assembly of Vidyadharas. Those are the knowledge holders. Where are they? They are in your throat. All the knowledge holders are in your throat. He says, imagine the assembly of Dakinis, who are the skyflowers who protect the Dharma and always there in your navel chakra. So you are imagining all of these are in your body. And when your body dies, all of them are there. Don't fail to recognize them. I keep talking to this audience and not this audience. Okay. Don't fail to recognize them. Two last points I want to make. Those of you who do Vajrasattva practice, and a lot of you do them in the Nondra, Ellen's the master teacher of them, okay? When you do Vajrasattva practice, even if you just use the mantra, Vajrasattva is a Sambhogakaya deity. So sometimes he's one of the 5 Buddhas of the Vajra family. His name is Vajrasattva. And sometimes in many of the texts, they put him right in the middle of the mandala. And he's the one that gives you the empowerments to clear everything. And how many syllables does Vajrasattva have? 100 syllables. You think that's a coincidence that Vajrasattva has 100 syllables? No. It is the purification of the 100 peaceful and wrathful deities. Therefore, when you do it very quickly, like I do sometimes, someone goes, you know, when I'm in a hurry and everything, you might miss one of the syllables. Don't. Rather do them a few times clearly. But the 100-syllable Vajrasattva is really important to awaken this inside of you. That's that. My last point, I promise, is that in the Dzogchen, right at the top of the tree where we are going with our practices, okay, in the Dzogchen, which I happen to love, okay, there are 2 practices which are the highest practices you can get, and you really need to get these practices empowered by a master. So if you're interested, find yourself a Dzogchen master somewhere or dream one up if you haven't got one and get the empowerment. But the 2 practices that are there in Dzogchen, one is called Trekchor and one is called Torgal. Now, these used to be so secret because nobody knew about them. And then the Dzogchen masters said, there is so much chaos in this world. We need to give this out more often so that people can do the practices. And what is the essence of these 2 practices? Trekchor is when you are able to sit in your pure essence, okay, much deeper than shamatha. Because in Trekchor, you really go into what the essence is all about. So you spend many, many, many years really being able to sit with the sky and the awareness. It's not just emptiness, there's awareness in it, which you understand. Okay, and that's Trekchor, which is a very, very deep practice. Torgal is even a deeper practice. In fact, it's the highest practice. And what is this practice. You can only know about it, but you need to get yourself to a master if you want to do it. Togel is actually the practice of taking these eyes, physical eyes, and allowing up the Kati channel right up into the eyes, looking into the sky, and beginning to visualize the 100 deities. Now, it starts off on a very, very small basis with awareness, and then you have all these Vajra chains, which then start moving into bindus, which then start moving into deities. And you really try very hard to, not try very hard, sorry, the opposite, not try very hard. You actually allow it to come through your wisdom eyes, and slowly, over a very deep, deep, deep practice, you see them all, not in your mind, really, really, really see them before you die. Anyway, that's a long way off for all of us, okay? But the point is just to know it, how important these 100 deities really, really are. It's really important. So remember, we can do a meditation now, or you can ask questions. You can write them to Bern, all of you on Zoom. But you know what? There's the most beautiful mandala, and it goes like this. Close your eyes for a minute. It goes like this. Boom. All sights are the body of the peaceful and wrathful ones. All that is heard is the sound of mantra. Thought-free awareness is the space of luminosity. That's the body, the speech, and the mind. The ocean-wide realms are filled with clouds of offerings. Those are your qualities. Innumerable activities free all beings. Those are your enlightened activities. The 5, enlightened body, speech, mind, qualities, and activities. This is the all-pervading mandala of the victorious ones. Everything is perfect in the continuity of one taste. And then Padmasambhava gives the 2 mantras, which you're very welcome to take if you want. And they go like this. The first is the mantra of the peaceful deity. Om Bodhi Chitta Maha Sukha Janana Datu A. Om Bodhi Chitta Maha Sukha Janana Datu A. Om Bodhi Chitta Maha Sukha Janana Datu A. And then the mantra of the wrathful deity. And it's, you can hear it. Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo Hum. Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo Hum. Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo Hum. Those are the beautiful mantras. So I want you to all imagine yourselves being in this beautiful mandala of the 5 qualities: enlightened body, enlightened speech, enlightened mind, enlightened qualities, enlightened activity. And when we do the practice of transforming our body, speech, and mind, the seed of appearance, dawning as deities, is planted in your being. The seed of realizing sound as mantra is planted in your being. The seed of realizing luminosity as wisdom is planted in your being. So I'm going to open it now for all of you. Also, the ones there, if you've got questions, and then I will definitely be here. If you want to know where to start reading, I would really suggest you look at, if you're really interested, Dzogchen deity practice, meeting your true nature. Also, Francesca Fremantle's Luminous Emptiness is a wonderful text to read. Keith Dowman has got the Dzogchen Bardo. It's a wonderful little booklet. There are hundreds. So I have also all the Bardo prayers. They all help you with this tremendously. So if you want to come and photograph anything from here, or Patro Rinpoche's do it, or if you want us to send it to you, You can either ask Bern, put your email there that people can ask you if they can in the text. And you could either text or email me or Silva, and we'll send you any of the prayers that you want. Also, to help you all. Okay, if you need help and you want to ask things, please don't hesitate to contact me. That's my mission in life, okay? So what I do with people in all my Zoom groups is they ask me questions and then I answer them by audio because it's much quicker, you know. So I just answer by audio. Questions, any there, Bern? Anyone want to ask? There must be a million questions you want to ask. Or you want to just digest. Yeah. Anyone? Ellen, what questions do you want? Have I covered a lot? Phil, any question? What about you, Modisa? Come on, Teresa, you all ask me questions when you're alone. Don't be shy. I'm happy to. Sorry? Oh, is there a question? Let's see.
Question from Natalie.
Look. Will Lamaneshi, that's not, and introduce anything about the topic? I doubt it. I doubt that he will come and introduce the topic. It's a very complex topic. I don't think he's doing that kind of teaching. I could be wrong. Certainly, if some of you are around when the tanker comes and he's there putting it up, he's going to be back in about October. And if you're around when he's putting it up and you start asking him questions, who knows? He may answer them, you know. It's wonderful, but you go and watch that tanker and try and think about some of the things that I'm saying. David, do you want to ask something? You're always the questioner. Ross, you've been sitting glued all the time. How long will Rinpoche be in South Africa? He'll be in South Africa for probably, okay, I'm coming. He'll be in South Africa probably for quite a long time, you know, a good few months through the winter months in thing. He loves to be here. He adores it. He unfortunately couldn't come this morning because he's got a whole lot of commitments at Sammy Ling, but he will definitely be here. Please, Vera. Okay, I'm just going to give you Vera's question. She says, not Vera, sorry, that's Vera. Sorry, Verity. I meant Verity. Verity's question is, if we did it over a course, could you do it over a long time? You could, for sure, because each of these things, as you can, a very, very big topic. You know, it's a really big topic. I'm giving you an introduction today. It's a very, very big topic. But what I usually do is, I've got my Zoom talks on Mondays and Monday mornings and Tuesday night. And what I usually do is, I usually take, if I'm going to do the peaceful and wrathful deities, I'll take a good couple of sessions. That is really, really good. You could do this you know, if you were away, you could do it in a retreat, but it's a lot of information to absorb. And what I really, so I'm happy to give anything, you know, particularly on Zoom, it's a lot easier for me. And I've got a lot of people that come from overseas and everything, which is really nice. And any of you can join anytime. And I give a lot of the courses, but for me, this subject is something you have to play with. You know what I mean? You have to have, either you've got the interest. Usually what I've been giving them a course on how to attain merit, and now I'm going on how to attain wisdom. But when you get the merit, you have that absolute curiosity. Like I have such curiosity about this subject. As you can see, my enthusiasm exceeds me for the subject matter, but I can't help that because that's what I love. But you start off, say, with a prayer like Patrul Rinpoche, And then you find as soon as you're interested in the subject, stuff will come up. Like this I put here if we ever had time. This was the most beautiful, beautiful article. It's called The Final Words of Padmasambhava when he left Tibet. Such an amazing article that Eric Kunzang, who actually came across, found it. And in this, Rishi Tsogyal asks him to give her, she says, I'm an old woman and please give me the instructions, the essential instructions. I just took the one little part. It's the most brilliant thing. You'll come across things like this. And he says here, all the experiences of rainbow lights are the natural manifestation of your mind. The peaceful and wrathful forms are the natural forms of your mind. All sounds are your very own sound. All lights are your own lights. Have no doubt about that. If you do feel doubt, it throws you back into samsara. Resolve all this to be a self-display and then remain wide awake in luminous emptiness. You will attain the three kayas and awaken to enlightenment. Even if someone then casts you into samsara, you won't go there. Beautiful. He gives these instructions, and those instructions hit my heart. And then I can't help myself. I'm just booming off, when I go, then I sit and ponder them for ages and ages. What does it mean? So yes, for sure you could do this in a long course. And it's not taught a lot, the peaceful and wrathful deity. And it's lovely that all of you are here, and there are lots and lots of people on Zoom as well. And well, I'll tell you what happened with me and Taisitu. When not during those 6 months, but I went there, so I don't know, a year or two later. I didn't really know, many times I never knew what I was asking. It was asked through me to him. And I once said to him at the end of a stay, Rinpoche, would you please teach us or give us the for the peaceful and wrathful deities? But I wasn't where I am now. That was when I asked. And he said, oh, yes, I would like that over 5 years. Okay, just to give you verity, over 5 years, he said, you'll have to come back to India every year for 5 years. That was fine. I didn't mind that. But when he said, and you, he used to call me South Africa, and you, South Africa, you will bring a group with you if I do it. So I thought, okay, you know how many groups I've taken, how much energy. I'm getting old now. I don't know if I've got the energy. So I said to him, Rinpoche, a group, must I bring the group, So anyway, he said, okay, well then that's fine. And then the whole time in that interview, he said, remember, the peaceful and wrathful deities bring a group. Anyway, to cut a very long story short, I then went to, what's his name that organizes the courses? Jumper Georgia. And I said to him, Rinpoche said he would do this over 5 years. And I said, no, I wouldn't bring a group. My shoulders like this. He says, are you mad? Are you mad? You've made the biggest error of your life. He said, I'll get a group. Don't be crazy. I'll get them. So I ran straight back to Rinpoche's office and I said, I've made a terrible mistake. When you make a mistake like that, it can be a mistake that costs you in this life. Okay. I said, I've made a terrible mistake. I will bring a group. Daughter Jumper said, I'll get 500 people in 5 minutes for this. So I said, I've made a terrible mistake. So Rinpoche said, okay, but I can't do it this year. I'll do it next year. I said, great, thank you very much. Next year, COVID hit. So sometimes I write to Jumper Dorje and I say, please ask Rinpoche. I can't ask on your behalf. I said, if we send emails to Rinpoche, doesn't get them, you know, they go through ever and ever. Please won't you go in, remind him that South Africa said, could you please do the peaceful and wrathful deity? Anyway, so let's pray. I'm still hoping he'll do it. I don't know if I'll be too old to go, but anyway, whatever. I think it's... So then, sorry, please. Saying age makes a difference. If the course lasts for 5 years, would we all be able to go in? You know, the thing is that it is, I agree, but even if we went for the first and second year, would still get enough empowerment. You need the empowerment. You just need a lineage transmission for this to be able to really bring it to fruition. So I think if he did do it, probably all of you would go. We'd all make an effort to pull each other in and go. And, you know, if one of the guys went with me and were prepared to carry some of the bags, I would be absolutely fine, you know. But it's a wonderful subject. And he would only do it over 5 years, just to explain the depth of this subject. I've just given you a little idea. But maybe over tea, and I forgot my cake. I left it at home on the counter, sorry. But anyway, maybe over tea, some of you would like to ask things, and maybe can look at maybe something on this in the future, you know, because it's really a beautiful subject and it's very close to my heart. Yes, please. Really? The deities? I don't know. If it's possible to do it online. Yeah. So the question is, couldn't we do it online? You know, the masters are starting to do empowerments online, a lot of them. I sometimes see the ones in America and things, they do it. So let's all keep our eyes open, and maybe, you know, we could do it as a group online if we get them. And also maybe one of you, you know, you've just got to put out the thought. As soon as you put out the thought, the mandala of Guru Rinpoche hits you like a ton of bricks. You know, when I put out a thought, that day I will go into the supermarket and someone will catch me, and that person is instrumental in what I need to do. That's what happens when you're in tune with the mandala of Guru Rinpoche, you know, which is the Amitabha Lotus family. So I think you put your thought out, I'll put my thought out, whoopsie booby, and we will get there sooner or later, really. So everybody, let's, were there any questions from the Zoom booth?
There's basically one from Andres. I don't have an email for him. He's wanting the English expression you did on the mandala.
Yeah, but that mandala is a beautiful, beautiful 1-minute prayer that you could do with your meditation, and you'd love it, all of you. There are lots of very beautiful things in the Dzogchen deity practice that you could do, quick things to awaken you in a beautiful way to you. And then whoever wants to ask you can ask you. And then if anybody needs to ask me anything, they're very welcome to do it as well. Okay? Most of you got my texting and my thing, and if any of you want it, you're welcome to get my number and text, which is the easiest. And now, before we go, I would like to see all your faces. So let's just let Alan do his dedication, and let me see all your beautiful faces. I haven't seen a lot of you for a long time, and there are lots of people here. Okay, which is really beautiful, and it's so nice to be in the temple here. Really wonderful. Hello, Vessel. Lovely to see you. Diana. Oh, my Diana. God, I can't believe it's you. That's so beautiful. And Ross, Lovely to see all of you. So let's dedicate, Ellen, please, and then we will, I will take questions from you over tea time. Hello, Alt. Ye tamche zipane topne ne pedranam tamshene chegana chi bala tropaye sipe sole doa do warsho. And I'm just saying a special dedication. If any of you and any of the people in the world that are suffering so badly of starvation, of terror, of wars, of everything, if there can be any benefit from the teaching this morning and beautiful DIPA's lovely tanka, we really dedicate it to all of them.